Here we go.
Well, hello there, you beautiful, beautiful, amazing, wonderful people. Even you trolls, hello. How are you? Looking amazing, by the way. Mwah. Love ya. Anyway, we'll get straight into the meat and potatoes as we are back into the Jay Slater case. As there have been videos out and about that are talking about certain elements of the Jay Slater case. We're talking about phones, the separation, we'll call it the great separation, very much like the new iPhone 16 and its AI software, the great separation there. Buy a phone, told how fantastic it's going to be. Oh, by the way, most of the features won't work for a couple of months. Anyway, I digress. So look, so Jay Slater, was his phone indeed found on the nice little secluded beach where the path runs all the way through Masca Valley down into this idyllic little beach so you can lay under the sun with the water lapping at your feet, waiting for the boat to come in and give you a kilo? Do you know what I mean? Was his phone found? There have been, and it has been shown on Wax Unfiltered videos, it had been reported that Jay's phone had been found at the beach, and yet Jay's body was found not at the beach. So make that make sense. So that's got to be a red flag if it's true, because ultimately we don't know if that's true or not. But if it is, that is a red flag. And there are multiple red flags around this. Let's talk about Ophelia, right? This is my issue with Ophelia. You only have to go on, and this is your own work, right? This is your homework. Go on to TripAdvisor and put in Masca Valley, and look at what the reviews are. Now, there ain't many reviews that are post Jay Slater, because I know what happens. Sometimes there's a crime that happens and people start going on to things like TripAdvisor and start putting stuff on there claiming to be someone else. Like we've seen reviews from Ayub Kasim, who have said about going to this Airbnb and thanking the cleaner. Is that Ayub Kasim? Now, you might be able to tell me and let me know down below whether that's him or not, but I also know that it's not beyond the realms of possibility for somebody to take a picture of Ayub Kasim, pretend to be him, and put some cryptic fucking review that makes it look like he's thanking a fucking a cleaning squad who have come in and covered up a crime. Or even him for shits and giggles to do it himself. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's indicative of anything nefarious. I think it's more indicative of us being led down the garden path, which this case seems to do pretty much on a daily basis. And look, I'm not removing Ayub Kasim from the shady corner. He's balls deep in the shady corner, and sadly it's because of his past that has placed him there. That's just life. But what I'm saying is, some of the things that we see in line are not always indicative of the truth. They are sometimes, there's weirdos out there, and weirdos like formulating stories. Like the beach video. I still get people sending me this beach video. Look, until someone can show me that beach video in a resolution that doesn't take me back to fucking Flintstones era, I can't pay attention to it. And if you're showing me audio, and what I'm going to say to you now is, look, I mean this with no disrespect whatsoever, but don't send me a video that you cannot see who the fuck is in it. Now, I'm not saying it's not Jay, I'm just saying you don't know if it is. And this video, sadly, has something to do with another person who in the past has been called out for fabricating audio in these exact cases. So look, I'm very, very sorry. I just can't offer that any credibility until I'm given enough information on it to concrete its relevance here. And I'm not saying it's irrelevant, I'm just saying I haven't seen enough. So, apologies, sorry. But anyway, I digress. I've gone off on a fucking tangent. Look, like I said, your homework, go on to TripAdvisor and put in Masca Valley. What are you going to see? Well, I'll tell you what you're going to see. First of all, you're going to see that the locals around Masca Valley, it would appear, because there's only about fucking 90 locals around there, right? They're robbing bastards, it would seem, because you've got people who are saying, we've had our vehicles broken into, we've had money stolen. So again, this goes back into what I was saying yesterday. Not one person has questioned the Jay Slater story. If they want to push it that Jay Slater goes off on a fucking walk and he's like having it large and he walks himself straight off a fucking cliff like Wile E. Coyote. And I think to myself, if I was Jay's friend and I was then hearing that there are people out there around this valley who are flat out fucking robbing the people who come into the area to enjoy, you know, they obviously aren't fucking fans of the tourism trade, there is a chance that Jay Slater could have been whacked over the head and pushed down the fucking ravine for money for his phone, for instance. Now, what would have stopped, and my question would be, and again, we're going back to the great separation, wouldn't this make more sense? If indeed Jay's phone was found at the secluded beach, you've got a local who has robbed Jay, has grabbed his, but now listen, because the devil's in the detail, and again, this might just be down to how it was sent out and how we've read it, but Jay Slater is found down a ravine with his belongings near him, not on him, near him. So somebody grabs him, has a tussle, he's got his bag, they take his bag off him, shove him, he goes down the ravine, they take his phone, they take any money, anything that he's got in that bag, and then they fucking throw his bag down with him. Do you know what I mean? So that would then answer that question. And then they fucking run on the track, not off road because they know where they're going, down to the beach, ditch the phone, and then go and have some scran somewhere with the money that they've taken off Jay. See, that to me is an equally credible story. A very credible story, especially when, like I say, you can go on and see that there are robberies in this area. There are people who are being robbed. But not only that, but you look at Ophelia, and I could pull Ophelia apart. And this is how I would pull her apart, right? We're supposed to believe, and again, this will give you the back story to it, and that is that you're looking at Maska Valley, where there is an abundance of reviews. And apart from the people talking about being robbed blind, there are people who talk about the buses, right? So there's mixed things about the buses, and that is that a lot of people want the buses. There are so many people around here waiting for the bus that half the time the buses can only take half the people because there's so many people around here. This is a busy, busy place. Beautiful place. People want to see Mount Tied, whatever it's fucking called, Tidy, bollocks. But what I'm saying is this entire area, there is people everywhere. There are hiking trails. There are people who are walking all over the place. So if Jay's in any kind of problem at all, then why doesn't he go to one of these people and ask where to go, what path to take? Can they help him? But we're supposed to believe that on this specific day, this specific time, this specific morning, this place is a fucking ghost town. Ghost town! That don't make sense. But anyway, going back to Ophelia, are we supposed to believe that Ophelia, who is a B&B owner, you know, an Airbnb owner, she's got the cafe, who do you think that that's for? That's for the tourism industry, isn't it? She knows that she is in this beautiful place that is busy with an abundance of tourists coming in from all over. She's got a bus stop that you can touch from her front door. You can literally touch it. Oh, bus. We're supposed to believe that she don't know when someone says, what time's the bus coming? To the point where she's got to go, oh. I'm not fucking buying it. I am not buying that a business owner that runs a business and has an Airbnb that takes in British guests, and she has a shop that takes in British people, and she doesn't know basic fucking English. I ain't fucking buying it. Not at all. And I'm calling bullshit out on that. And the fact that she is trying to proclaim that there was a language barrier and that affected her ability to understand him, I believe that this was done strategically. She was just potentially utilised as someone else who could say that she saw Jay, the affirmation that he is there, but without being able to be questioned too much because she couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying. Of course you don't. Of course you don't. That's a stupid thing. That's a stupid thing to think that she would know how to speak basic English about a bus in a place that's got an abundance of tourists everywhere and she runs an Airbnb in a shop. What are you thinking? You stupid idiot. So look, there is some huge, huge red flags. And don't even get me started about the two main antagonists out in the world of don't talk about Jay Slater, or we're going to take you to court, or we're going to rubbish you or abuse you online. Like I say, you've got the aforementioned Ayub Kasim, who's an ex-drug trafficker, who was trafficking drugs between, what was it, fucking London and Wales. Wales takes you to Luggyville. I'm sure that's just coincidental, but the point being is it don't look great, do it? It don't ever look great. And I'm not saying that Luggy's done anything. To be fair, I just don't know that much about the guy and I don't want to know. All I know is that he came over to my TikTok and was taking a piss. And then he removed his message. And then you've got Chris Tenerife, who has done a complete 180. And again, he has business connections in Tenerife himself, which could potentially be affected by a potential murder or drug-connected, gang-related, gang affiliation, mafia affiliation. Anything nefarious could potentially affect it. So you have a desire to make it just look like it was a tragic accident. I get it. Maybe I'd do the same if I was there and I thought that my livelihood could be affected by the underworld being called out. Who knows? Who bloody knows? Some people might just be scared. People might have been warned off. But what I'm saying is there are some red flags around this. Some big, big, big red flags. And let me know what your biggest red flag. What is your absolutely biggest red flag? I'm not going to go over old news, talk about these calls and the polar opposites of how these calls went between Lucy and, you know, Jay and Brad and Jay, and the fact that we don't really have any definitive proof of him ever being at the Airbnb apart from some random, it's not even a selfie picture, it's a point of view picture, do you know what I mean? That just don't make sense. Don't make sense to me whatsoever. The blanket that seemingly is identical to the one that was at Lucy's apartment, I don't get that as well. Bit strange, bit random. Was it that cold that Jay needed to be swaddled like a baby? Who knows? If he was that fucking cold, then don't go outside and smoke. Go and lay down. Red flags. Let me know down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one.